Hello, everyone. Well, this is a little bit of a different interview today because my husband is sitting beside me, and we are going to talk about restoring the mosaic. We're just going to take a short period of time and give you some background and help you understand why we do what we do. So, you're on the spot. Can you tell me a little bit, or tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what you do professionally?
Okay, I'm 69 years old and have farmed for years and years on a mixed farm in Ontario. And in 1990, I took my real estate courses and have been a real estate sales rep slash broker since then. And it's been very productive and became involved with this with this as Anne became more knowledgeable on all the details that was going on with this indoctrination and her research and writing her books.
Yeah, I kind of started way back when I was going to school, actually. Um, but that was quite a long time ago. We've been married almost 32 years,
almost.
So it's been a process of learning all along the way, especially in this whole area for Bob with the area of sexual abuse and then the bigger agenda within the LGBTQ radical agenda and activism. So tell me why you are willing to contribute to what I do.
I believe in you, and
That's good. That's kind of nice, isn't it?
yes, I believe in you, and you can see the impact it has on so many different people. The emails that you get that sometimes you share with me of how they encourage you to keep up the good work and keep being bold.
Yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot. And you've got a bit of a personal story regarding the whole thing of childhood sexual abuse, not personally from yourself, but kind of our story together with our family. And this being our second marriage, Bob took my three eldest children under his wing, and so that began a journey of a deep understanding of the trauma that happens to children.
And it wasn't until after we were married that the first evidence was disclosed regarding some sexual abuse, and it's been a journey ever since. And as we go through the journey, we got so disappointed in the justice system, and as you look into it deeper, the education system is not working. Our political system is not working.
Yeah, it affects this whole sexualization of our culture, in fact, has infected every area of our society, hasn't it?
Yes, and then there's a lot of opposition. You try and speak up, and people are always trying. Some of the activist people are trying to shut Anne down at different times and causing grief.
What impact do you hope to see through restoring the mosaic? I mean, you've been financing what I do for the last 8 years specifically, and to the tune of, I would say, almost $300,000 that we've invested into waking up Canadians. What kind of impact are you looking for?
I'm hoping that some of the government and school boards and libraries will do some policy changing to protect our children that are being indoctrinated. And at different times, the old story of the starfish, why, ask the old guy on the beach, why are you picking up one starfish at a time and throwing them back in? And he replies, it at least may not help the masses, but it's going to help that starfish.
Yeah, it's one person at a time, one family at a time, one church at a time, one community at a time. But we're having more of an impact, I think, this year. I was just actually, I'm just doing my year-end newsletter, and I decided to really do a comprehensive review. And the impact this year has been much more in the sense that people are awakening. Do you find that? Have you seen that happening?
Yes, people are listening and they're reaching out for more information this year, where before it just a quick read and move on, and with the Million March, it seemed to really wake up the masses of people.
Yes. Yeah, it seems like we've been seeding the ground for many years in this whole area of exposing the sexualization of our culture, and particularly our children, and then more specifically within the LGBT and the educational curriculum and the trans movement. So it's been a process. I would say I've been more encouraged this year by responses than I ever have, because people really are starting not only to listen but to speak out. So what's it look like moving forward? What do you see the needs for this ministry?
We need people to team up and partner with us, and it's a big burden for us as individuals to carry forward, but we need people to step up and probably donate with finances. We need lots of prayer, like lots and lots of prayer, lots of attacks against us, and we just need more people to pass on the information. Like Anne's website is excellent, the Restoring the Mosaic, and pass the information on, read the books, follow the events, and that's basically it.
So I have a question here. What is your personal philosophy in contributing to Restoring the Mosaic? What do you think makes it worth it?
As I said before, you get these positive emails that come back in thanking Anne for boldly stepping out and passing on the information. And at some of the conferences and events I've been at, Anne will be busy talking to some people. I'm busy on the book table, and people come up individually and share their story of how it has affected their own personal family.
This has been encouraging for me this year, because this is the first year that Bob has really accompanied me on some of my events and traveled with me, and we hope to do that more in the future. It's nice to have someone to travel with, and specifically I put him to work, because he lugs the suitcases around, but also he's been taking up that job of working on the book table and talking to people, and that's a gift that you have. This is Mr. People person. You love talking to people, and so that it's wonderful when we can go together, and that takes money. Now, sometimes events, some places over last year, there are 2 or 3 different events where I've spoken at where they've actually paid for my airfare and paid me to speak. I think that's been 3 different events over the many of them this year. So, but they don't pay, of course, for Bob to come with me. And so we need to raise finances. And the other thing I need is volunteers. I really need an assistant, someone that can help me. I mean, I'd love to pay this person. And when you see my newsletter that comes out in the next week or so, you'll see opportunities there. But it would be great to pay someone to come alongside and help with some of the promotional stuff, which my media people are doing, but also just in just the general responses to emails and various things like that, because it can get a little overwhelming. Okay, if someone wants to contribute financially, what do you suggest they do?
Go to the website Restoring the Mosaic, and there's the different options. And at this time too, there's a charitable organization that has stepped up that there can be a charitable receipt issued.
Yeah, that just happened last month, actually, that I've been looking. Our government really doesn't want to give me a charitable number. They turned me down many years ago. And now I'm able actually to offer tax donations through another organization, an educational organization. So that's a real plus. So now if you're able to contribute, then you'll actually get a tax receipt. So that's good. And then moving forward, we're looking forward to 2024. I think we've been very strategic in the last 8 years, and I hope to write one more book this year. More books, but particularly this one that coming up called The Spirit of This Age, Overcoming the Spirit of This Age. So Bob has been supportive in those things as well, which has been difficult because when I'm not making any income and I don't intend actually to get paid, that's just not part of it at this point, but it would be really, really helpful to have expenses paid for. And at this point, Bob is retiring. He'll be 70 in January. Can you believe it? I mean, where did the time go? Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe not completely retiring, but at least slowing down and have some time for us things to do. And it has been a big sacrifice over the last few years. We've given up a lot.
Well, and this makes it more viable for Bob to travel with me in the future as well. So thank you for listening. I wanted to connect you with my wonderful husband, who has been my biggest supporter and cheerleader for many years, and I actually the one who funds all of what I do, with the exception of a handful of people who have been very faithful to contribute over the last few years as well. So thank you for listening, and this is Merry Christmas. My goodness, the end of this week is Christmas, so we'll be talking again, and I have some special guests coming up.
Thank you for listening.